So I finally got my hands on the new Meta Quest Pro, and while it's a very expensive VR headset, it does come with its own wide range of benefits that you won't find with many other headsets that are currently on the market. And as the successor to the Quest 2, Meta has implemented new features and hardware in order to justify the price point as well as help propel VR gaming to the next generation. And while many people seem to struggle to justify the price point of the Quest Pro, it is important to realise that the Quest Pro is still very early in its development cycle, and like the Quest 1 and Quest 2, it is likely that Meta will implement new and exciting features that will serve to make the Quest Pro headset an even better device than it already is. So, after playing around with it for a little bit, watching entertainment and playing some games on it, I wanted to give you my honest opinion on the Meta Quest Pro, in order for you to see if it's worth buying or not. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So first off, we're going to be talking about the hardware. The Quest Pro boasts a 1920 by 1800 display, which is the same resolution as the Quest 2, give or take. However, it has a local dimming backlighting system that gives improved contrast, meaning that the colours and everything you see in the game is just so much better. And that isn't just some script off a web article that I've seen online, that is my personal experience. It looks so much better. The Quest Pro also has pass-through cameras that are 4 times the resolution of the Quest 2's pass-through mode, as well as a camera dedicated to pass-through colour, and the pass-through mode is absolutely incredible. In fact, the pass-through is so good that I opt to use it as my home environment rather than the Meta Quest's preset home environments. The Meta Quest Pro also takes advantage of the pancake lenses, which, to be honest, is an absolute game changer when it comes to immersion because everything looks so clear in comparison. Like, it's one of those that doesn't even sound like it's going to make a difference, but when you try it, you can see the difference. It is crazy. And if that wasn't good enough, the Quest 2 is also a lot smaller at the front and it's actually bigger on the back, so the headset is actually a lot more balanced than it was when it was the Quest 2, which means that you're going to last a lot longer in virtual reality without experiencing any sort of discomfort around the head. Lastly, when it comes to hardware, the halo design that the Quest Pro has is a significant improvement from the straps that the Quest 2 has. As a result, the headset is a lot more comfortable for me to wear over a long period of time, and on top of it, it doesn't mess up my hair. Well, it still kind of messes up my hair, just not as much as the straps did. And that's it, those are the main improvements when it comes to hardware. So when you actually get to the point where you put the headset on, the layout is very similar to the Quest 2 with very minor changes in places that take advantage of the Quest Pro's capabilities. For example, the eye and face tracking works on your home avatar, and although it isn't perfect, it certainly works quite well. I can only imagine it's just going to improve over time when Meta roll out more updates for it. And as previously mentioned before, you also have the option to have your own room as a home environment, which I found really cool because I was able to go talk with my roommates without taking the headset off. And I was even able to make coffee just by watching through the pass-through cameras. Although I do have to say one thing, and that is the quality is going to vary depending on where you are using the headset. For example, when I'm using the headset in my room, there is a bit of flicker when it comes to the pass-through, and that's because I've only got one light in the room. But when I was using it in the kitchen, there was sunlight coming through the windows, there wasn't any flicker. I think this is because the Quest Pro struggles to keep up with the light frequency when it comes to pass-through, so you just get this constant flicker when you're using it with one light. I think if you have multiple lights, I don't think you'll experience this, but not a lot of people have multiple lights, so yeah, it's a bit of a drawback, in my opinion anyway. Other than that, there hasn't really been that many changes when you compare it to the Oculus Quest 2. Now I know I said before there wasn't really much difference between the home environment on the Quest 2 and the Quest Pro, but there are new apps to cater towards the capabilities of the Quest Pro. For example, The World Beyond is a free trial experience which uses the power of AR to create an interactive environment that combines reality and virtual reality. To be honest, it is one of the coolest apps I've played on anything, not just VR. So basically, when you go into it, you get to interact with an alien pet, even as going as far as being able to give it voice commands and play and fetch with it. It's short, it's a sweet experience, it demonstrates a mere morsel of what the Quest is capable of. I can only hope that the Quest Pro releases more mixed reality apps further down the line when the Quest 3 begins to appear, because I can imagine the Quest 3 having pass-through capabilities and AR capabilities as well. Now we go to what is probably the coolest bit about the Meta Quest Pro. It seems that all the native Quest apps look better than they did on the Quest 2, as the pancake lenses improved the visual clarity of games. I spent my first moments on the Quest Pro trying out Resident Evil 4, and I can confidently say that everything looks clearer in comparison. It is like the difference is night and day, it is mental. And as for games like Beat Saber, the upgraded remotes that come as part of the Quest Pro make a massive difference in movements, being more responsive, controllers not drifting away as a result of not being picked up by the headset, For example, when you put the controllers behind you and the headset cameras can't pick it up, that doesn't happen anymore because the controllers have cameras inside of them. Which, if we're being honest, is about damn time. Other than that, the Quest Pro seems to come up a bit short when it comes to native improvements. However, I can see this changing in the upcoming year as games start to release with better graphics and better utilization of the Quest Pro's power. This will most likely be around the time when the Quest 3 is announced or when the Quest 3 is released. Now we got onto my favourite part of the headset, using the headset with the link cable. The games I played looked visually stunning in comparison to the Quest 2. This is partly due to the increased contrasted colours and the improved lenses that the Quest Pro has. I tested the Quest Pro playing Half-Life Alyx and Blade and Sorcery, two of my favourite games, and the experience is nothing like anything I've experienced so far playing VR. The clarity is just ridiculous. I never thought I'd see this clarity within the next 5-10 years. But in all fairness, when you're paying for a premium price headset, that's kind of what you expect. But the clarity of everything just made the VR experience so much better and so much more immersive. And again, because of the comfortability of the headset, I was able to play for longer playing times. And once again, this experience is only going to get better as developers begin to create games with better graphics, but as of now, it's more of a patient waiting game as the vast majority of VR users are still using the Quest 2, and for good reason. Although a couple of developers have started making their games look better on the Quest Pro. And I do think that more and more developers need to start making better graphics and better games for the Quest Pro. Maybe then the price point would be more justified. I am of course talking about the $1,500 price point. Now as for entertainment, the immersion that the Quest Pro creates is simply unmatched. Like I've watched films on the Quest Pro, and because the light blockers on the side mean that the outside world is practically shut off, it felt like I was watching it in a cinema. And if you haven't tried Netflix on your VR device yet, try it. I'd 100% recommend it, even if you're using something like the Quest 2 or even the original Oculus Quest, because Netflix on the Quest headsets is amazing. To summarise everything, my favourite part about the Quest Pro experience is being able to go back and replay all of the games that I previously played on the Quest 2 and play with better graphics and better performance. The visual quality of the lenses are revolutionary in comparison to the Quest 2, and I would honestly struggle to go back to the headset. Especially playing games like Blade and Sorcery and Half-Life Alyx, where the graphics are already amazing, having a headset that can display them much better and vividly is a huge game changer. So in my honest opinion, I think it was worth the money that I paid for the Quest Pro. I don't think it is worth the £1,499 price point, simply because it feels like an unfinished product, like the past two VR headsets released by Meta have felt like. But maybe in the future, when Meta have added features and updated current features, it will be closer to being worth that valuation. For now, the Quest Pro can be found cheaper through other websites, so it's best to look there first, before buying direct. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, please leave a like. If you like what I make, please subscribe. If you don't, then fair enough, mate.